You are listening to Season 2 of the Humans of AI Stories Not Stats podcast. Me, Devi Parikh and Dhruv Batra talk to AI researchers to try and understand who they are as people, what their life is like, what they think about, what they're insecure about, and what they get really excited about. Questions that reveal the stories of their day to day life. In this episode, Dhruv talks with Roozbeh Muttagi, who is the research manager of the Prior team at AI2 and an affiliate associate professor in the Department of Computer Science and Engineering at the University of Washington. Roozbeh talks about his visual grounding of thoughts, his love for supercars, his early inspirations for getting into robotics, and lots more. For more information about the podcast and the episodes, you can log on to www.humanstories.ai. And with that, let's get right into the episode.
Hey, Roozbeh.
Hi, Dhruv.
How's it going?
How are you?
Good, good. Are you doing okay with things reopening up and things?
Yeah. I came to the office today actually, so so we are not at full capacity yet, but it's but like 10-20% capacity, so it's good.
Okay, all right. The first person back to office. Yeah, no. Facebook offices are still closed. Georgia Tech campus, as far as I recall, is still closed. But it's good. Must be nice to be back, at least in an empty office, but still.
Yeah, hopefully in a couple of months. Yeah, that's everybody will come back. Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you for doing this. Officially welcome to Humans in AI.
Yeah, my pleasure.
As you probably know, this is being recorded. I have a sequence of questions for you. Some of them are going to be lightweight and may not require a lot of thinking. Others may require some thought, so feel free to pause and take your time to think. We can skip some questions if you'd like. We don't have to go over everything, but to the degree that you're comfortable, if you can err on the side of being vulnerable, open, transparent, I think people will appreciate it.
Sure.
Okay. So my first question is, what were you doing right before this call?
Before this call, actually, I was eating. So so during this pandemic, there's almost no time for lunch. So you hang up from one meeting and you join another meeting, and sometimes I will be left with like 10 minutes for lunch, and sometimes I have to cook in that 10 minutes. So it's a bit yeah. I was eating before this call.
Okay, I hope you got enough time to finish your.
Yeah. So I heard there are in this eating contest there are two tracks. One track is like eating a lot of food, and the other track is eating fast. And I think after the pandemic is over, I'm well prepared for the fast eating contest. So that's
yeah, I think we can all relate to that. What is your daily routine like?
Daily routine. Yeah, usually, I mean, depends on many things. Like if you have deadlines, no deadlines, or it's a normal day. But on average, it's basically, yeah, the day starts with cell phone. I check my emails, my messages. I check news and like social media and those types of things. And that's I used to respond to emails, but I stopped doing that because so sometimes you didn't have like you don't have like good sleep and uh, so I stopped doing emails right after I wake up. So I wait for a couple hours so I can think, and then I send emails. So so that's I check my cell phone messages and so on, and then I take a shower and breakfast. And at some point, I decided to work out in the morning, but I realized I'm not good at that, so I do the workout in the afternoon. So that's removed from my daily schedule. And after breakfast, I start work. Before the pandemic, I drove for about half an hour, and now it's just I sit at my desk and then join the meetings, and mostly it's like meetings back to back, and some days I leave some time for myself, so to read papers, to mostly it's for reading, and and then it's lunchtime, and then again the meetings start, like back-to-back meetings, until in the afternoon. I usually work out some for 30 minutes, like 45 minutes. It's not a heavy workout, just light workout, and and then I after workout is basically reading news, like sometimes watching movies, having dinner, and that's like normal. That's a routine for a normal day. But some days are like hectic. Sometimes some days are more relaxed, and that's on average it looks like that.
And what is the favorite part of your day?
Actually, I like every part of the day. I mean, there is no specific part that I don't like, but I like most part of the day. It's good, but in the morning when I want to check my emails and news and so on, so there is some excitement about like what's going on. So that's maybe that's my favorite part of the day. Like sometimes good news, sometimes bad news, sometimes there are like lots of different things.
The shot of endorphins first thing in the morning.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
I see. And what is the least favorite part of your day?
Least favorite part of the day. Yeah, it's right before going to bed. Like that's the I'm so tired and I cannot I cannot think about anything. Just I do right before going to bed is the least favorite part.
And do you set an alarm in the morning?
No, I don't. For some reason I wake up around like 6, 7 in the morning, and automatically I don't need any alarm. And sometimes I have to wake up very early in the morning, like to catch a flight or to do travel or something. So that for those, yeah, sure, I set up alarm, but and like on a normal day, no, it's I wake up automatically.
Oh, nice. Yeah, is it approximately around the same time usually?
Yeah, approximately around the same time. I don't know if it's because of a sleeping problem, or is it? I wish I could sleep more, but and set an alarm, but unfortunately that doesn't happen.
So even on the weekends, you wake up
even on the weekends, yeah, that's same schedule.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And do you consider yourself a planner, or do you operate more on gut feeling and go with the flow?
Actually, I'm more of a planner. That's usually I have like plan A, B, C, D, and in case something goes wrong, I follow another plan and so on. And among my friends, I'm famous for having a bad luck. So I always plan based on the worst case scenario. So and then I have other plans that, and if worst case scenario doesn't happen, so I'm happy that so I switch to another plan and do that.
And is that finding backed by data? You actually do have bad luck, or is that just
it happens. I don't know, like so, or maybe maybe I'm exaggerating, but my friends are but it's all my friends know that. For example, when they want to buy a stock or something, so they ask me like, what did you buy? I say I bought these things, and so they don't buy it, so they buy other things. So that's
well, I mean, an anti-correlated variable is just as useful as a correlated variable.
Yeah, exactly.
And so do you struggle with procrastination?
No, not really. Actually, I'm kind of the opposite. I try to do everything as the task that assigned to me as soon as I can, and then I get stressed out that I cannot do that quick. I cannot do those quickly, and that's unfortunately that's not a good thing, I guess. So that's so I'm trying to reduce the stress a little bit.
Hmm. And do you struggle with time management?
No, that I think I'm good at time management. It's not usually planning, time management, and these types of things. I'm doing okay. So.
Hmm. Are you competitive, Roosevelt?
Competitive. Sometimes yes, sometimes no. It like really depends. Really depends on the really depends on the contest on the context. So sometimes it's yeah, it depends. It depends. Like but usually on average, no, I'm not a competitive person. And yeah, if like somebody wins a competition that or like does something, I it makes me happy that yeah that guy succeeded and so on. So it's in general, yeah, that's I'm not a competitive person.
Hmm. Is there a rejection or a failure that hurt particularly bad?
Rejection or failure that hurts? Not really. I mean, rejection is part of life, and yeah, failure is part of life, and it's not. It doesn't. I might be upset, and for but it doesn't last more than 1 day or 2 days, and that's. I'm okay with rejections and failures in general, but yeah, sometimes there something happens. Like for example, you have written a like good paper that I mean you think it's a good paper and you're excited about it, and it gets rejected for I mean some fair or unfair reason, and yeah, it's not I'm not be happy about it, but it's not the end of the world. Like rejection and failure is part of life, and usually I'm okay with all rejections and failures.
Good, good. Is there an achievement or a success that felt particularly good?
Achievement or success? Not not really. I mean, same as rejections, like that achievements and success is also part of life. So I don't value them much. So the same they have the same value as the rejection. So probably yeah, it doesn't yeah, I don't consider anything usually as a success or achievement. Just part of the trajectory of the life.
You've achieved a certain balance and perspective and zenhood that we all should aspire to. What is one thing you are worse at than people around you?
One thing that I'm worse at. Okay, so so this one during yeah, there are a couple of things like there are many things, but I can give a couple of examples. So that's when the pandemic started, so we stopped shopping outside and we decided to bake our own bread and so on. So after like a couple of attempts, I realized I'm very bad at this thing, and I'm happy that that I chose AI as my profession and not baking. So that's so that's one thing. But I have a couple of friends that are really good at like baking bread and pastries and so on, and I envy them. And that's one of the things that I am really that I'm really bad at, and I'm not happy about it.
Sure. And what would you say is your single biggest strength?
Single biggest strength. Yeah, as I said, yeah, I'm good at planning and time management and usually when we have a deadline, I usually try to finish my stuff like few days, not if not a week before the deadline, in case something goes wrong, if in case I want to add something to what I have done. So that's I consider that as my strength.
And maybe towards this strength, is there a favorite tool or a trick or a hack that you find makes your life particularly efficient or convenient or fun?
Or not really. I'm kind of an yeah. That's yeah. Usually I cannot think of anything at this point. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that's for example. Yeah, I'm an old-fashioned person. Just to give you an idea. So I still use Vim for my editor. So that's so you can imagine like how I use tools and so on. So that's
Have you tried this new thing called Emacs?
oh. when I was a student, we had a professor and he liked Emacs a lot. I think he still likes it, but and then he asked us to use Emacs for everything, and so I used Emacs for a certain period of time, but it was so hard to exit from that program, so I quit doing it.
I see. There is the common criticism lobbed at each other from Vim users to Emacs users and the other direction. Okay. What is an idea that you came across, or a book or an essay or some external influence or an external idea that left a particularly deep impression on you?
External idea or essay. I mean, I read I read papers and so on. So the only thing that I can remember that really like got me excited. I was a student and there was this book came out. It's called Probabilistic Robotics. I really like that book, and I was so excited, and I read it from like the beginning to the end, and I got very interested in that. I mean, I was doing research on that topic, but this book was really useful, and I really liked it. So that kind of changed my career. So and I focus on those types of things more and more.
Fascinating. Yeah. I'm sure others can also relate to finding that one book or a paper or a project early on in your career that makes you go, yeah, I just want to do more of this.
Yeah.
How do you make difficult decisions? Are there certain lines of thinking or frameworks that you use to approach difficult decisions?
Difficult decisions. So for those, actually for major decisions, I think a lot. Like that's maybe sometimes like a month, 2 months, 3 months. So I think about a particular thing and I make a decision. So and I don't regret any decisions that I've made. So that's, I don't know if it's because of I thought a lot about that decision and it turned out to be a good decision, or I'm the kind of person that adapts to situations very quickly and thinks that the current situation is the best thing that could happen, and so I don't I don't regret any major decision that I have made. And yeah, I think a lot about like any decision, especially major decisions that might take a long time to reach a conclusion.
Interesting. Do you have an internal monologue? Do you talk to yourself?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I talk to myself a lot, and yeah, think about different things. Yeah, that's
And in what language?
in Farsi. And yeah, actually it depends on the context. Sometimes in Farsi, sometimes in English. So that's yeah.
Yeah. And are you a visual thinker? Do you have symbols, pictures, moving pictures in
Yeah,
your mind?
visual, yeah, like visually, yeah, everything. Like I have like visual grounding for everything.
That's good. And it's multimodal. There are tokens and pictures, and there's cross attention between them.
No, it's just pictures. Yeah.
I see. What do you tend to think about when you are not actively trying to think about something? What goes on in the back burner?
The back burner. I don't remember. Probably, yeah, probably nothing. I try to stay focused, just not to think about anything.
Okay. How do you recharge or take a break?
How do I recharge? Recharge. Usually, yeah. Sometimes it depends. Like how long I want to spend on that on recharging. Sometimes I go I go on vacation like for a few days, for a week, and so on. Sometimes just a small gathering with friends and chatting with them and these types of things is good enough for recharge. So it depends, but yeah, I do these types of things.
And similar lines, but where do you find your escape, where you can disconnect, have your brain be in a almost suspended state, and yeah, where do you find what triggers that?
What triggers that? Usually, I mean, this is kind of weird, but but when I'm driving, so that's kind of relaxing for me, especially like long drives. And if I'm by myself, it's kind of relaxing thing. I know it's a weird thing, but I don't know. It is.
Yeah.
So that's what happens.
Are you happy with the number of close friends you have?
Yes, yes. I actually I have very good friends, and I mean, number wise, so I have a lot of friends, and I think I don't know if this is a good thing or bad thing. So I hang out with like many different type of people, like so that's ranging like very different people. Like I have like friends. I have a friend who is uh, who has a like car dealership. I have a friend who is a lawyer. I have a friend who is a doctor. So there are like different types of friends, and I learn like I learn a lot from them, and that's very good. And uh, I'm happy with the number of friends that they have.
Cool. What are you insecure about?
What I'm insecure about, anything that I've not practiced for. Like for example, um, if there I don't know if there's a talk for 100 people, 200 people, I'm very okay with that because I've practiced that. But if I want to do something that I've not done before, for example, talking to a person, but something new that makes me insecure. I'm not. I really need to rehearse and I need to practice. So I gain my confidence. And other than that, I feel insecure, and that's let's say I don't have enough confidence for new things. I need to practice.
Hmm. Do you feel like an imposter?
No, not really. Yeah, just yeah.
Hmm. Do you think you're average, above average, or below average happy compared to the people around you?
Uh, I think I don't know, like, because I'm surrounded by some happy people, so I don't know if I'm I'm below average or average. So that, so I'm average. I'm not. Yeah, I'm not super happy. I'm not super unhappy. Like I'm on the average level.
What is something surprising about you? Something that the rest of us might not guess?
Something surprising about me. Yeah, that's actually, there's nothing really surprising about me. So I live on a straight line. So by that I mean you can easily predict my next moves, my next attempts, and so on. And the slope of the line is between 0 and 1, so there you don't see like much change at fixed intervals. So that's even, for example, if yeah, I'm a predictable person. For example, when we go to restaurants with friends and colleagues and so on, so they can easily predict what I will order there, even if it's the first time that we go to that restaurant. So that I'm that predictable. But, so the thing that might be surprising to people, I'm into like supercars, and I drive supercars, so that's one thing that that people might not know about me. Yeah.
Fascinating. Can you say more for starting with what are supercars?
Okay, so what are supercars? So supercars are yeah, the 0 to 60 is usually less than 4 seconds. So that's considered supercar.
I see. And I can tell you right now that you are certainly wrong in that there's nothing surprising about you. That was highly surprising. I would not have guessed. So, what supercar are you driving?
So I drove this. I mean, the last car I had was BMW i8, and yeah, the lease finished. Now I'm doing research for my next car, and so that's what I drove. Yeah.
Fascinating. And you find that you were able to make use of the capabilities of these cars to go from 0 to 60 in less than 4 seconds.
Yeah, yes. So, yeah, but some of my friends, yeah, you're tell me you're wasting this car. It's not you are not using it right. So you have to do you have to drive. Yeah, you don't do crazy driving and so on. So, yeah, but yeah, I don't use it well, but I try to.
Nice.
Use as much of it.
What is one thing about the world that surprises you?
One thing about the world, yeah, there are a lot of things. So this pandemic is what it was like super surprising. I never expected something happens like in 2020 that can shut down the entire world for actually it's more than a year now. Yeah, for more than a year. That was surprising. And the the thing that's more surprising, there are some other fields that are harder than AI. So they can so there's producing vaccine and so on. So these are not easy things to do. And so
Wait, you were surprised about the existence of fields that are harder than AI?
yeah.
I see.
So their input is not clear, like their model is not clear, their processor is not clear, and their output is not clear. At least in AI, so we have some of these like fixed, so we know about them. So that was kind of surprising. Yeah.
I see. Makes sense. What do you wish your brain was better at doing?
What I wish my brain was better at doing. Actually, speaking is I wish I was better at speaking. So sometimes, so if you consider a spectrum, like being quiet on one end and being talkative on the other end, I'm more on the quiet side. And I thought and I have some colleagues and some friends. They talk very well, and they generate they generate content very well and so on. But I'm more on the quiet side, and I mean, I talk, but just about things that I think that I think that they are important. It's not. Uh, I cannot talk about like random things for an hour. But I have some friends that they can talk like nonstop for 5 hours. So that's one thing that I really I wanted to improve, and I still want to improve.
Fair enough. And I can, if for people who feel that way, I can see how it might be particularly stretching themselves and difficult to subject themselves to this. So thank you again for doing this. What do you strongly suspect but have no proof of?
What is strongly suspect, but I have no proof of.
Like, what's a conspiracy that you believe in?
It's a conspiracy that I believe. Actually, I'm a type of person that I really need to have proof to believe something. So that's yeah. I don't remember any particular thing. Yeah, that's yeah. Usually I need proof like to believe something. Without proof, it's hard for me to accept.
Fair enough. What is something you've changed your mind about recently or in distant past?
I changed my mind about. Usually I don't change my mind. So sometimes some about yeah, some people, for example, maybe I like them a lot when I see them after at some point, then I realize, oh, they are not as good as I thought, and so so that might happen. The opposite way can also happen. Like some people don't leave you a very good first impression, but uh, as it goes on, you start admiring them and so on. So but I don't have I don't have particular example in mind that I can point you to. So yeah, that's usually when I make a decision or have an impression, I usually don't change it, and I stick to it.
Hmm. What is a bad habit you're working on overcoming?
A bad habit that bad habit. Yeah, sometimes yeah for workout you usually I skip it and say, yeah, today I'm tired. I'm not in the mood of that, and so let's skip. So I try to push myself. Yeah, I have to do the workout, and that's a bad habit that I'm now struggling with.
Fair enough. What are you addicted to?
What I'm addicted to? There are several things. I mean, it depends also on the period of life. So at some point in life, I was addicted to like video games, and I was doing video games. So that was one thing.
What did you play?
Some random stuff. Anything that mostly soccer, but it was like shooting games and like but yeah, the main focus was on soccer, and that that's that. Yeah, another thing that I'm addicted to is like watching soccer. Uh, yeah, I sometimes I spend a lot of time on watching the games. Some of them are not important games. Some random games in some country, and I watch those and spend time on those, and that's pretty much it. So I'm trying to control myself to not get addicted to anything. So that's the that's my goal. I'm trying to uh, stop myself. I realize I'm getting addicted, so I stop myself.
How do you imagine your retirement?
How do I imagine my retirement? It's a very tough question. yeah, the first season was much easier. Like the questions.
I'll,
Like, what did you eat and like what was your
I will pass the message on to Devi. But she was pitching low balls.
yeah. So okay, for retirement, yeah, probably a nice house, a nice car, and I cannot imagine myself retired, that because I get bored. Like for example, when I sometimes I go on vacation to visit my parents for 3 4 weeks, and by the second week I get bored because I'm not doing anything. So I think I cannot imagine myself not doing anything during retirement. So probably I will keep working, and I do something. So it's yeah, it's kind of hard to imagine myself like relaxing and enjoying the sunshine at the beach and so on.
Mm. Do you think much about the future, say on a 5 to 10 year scale?
Yes, I do think about the future. That's maybe even every day, like how I should plan, like what I should do, like what type of work I need to do, what type of what type of investment I need to do, and these types of things that happens very frequently.
Hmm. And on a much closer time horizon, what is your prediction? When do you think the world will open back up post-COVID?
Hopefully by July, at least. At this yeah, here it should be fine, and but it's very hard. It's very hard to predict. I was yeah last year around March we received an email that the company will be shut down, and everybody will work from home, and we were worried about my colleague was worried about some robotics experiments, and I told him no man, don't worry, we will be back in like 2 3 weeks, and and now we are in like 1 year, more than a year after that, and we cannot we cannot do that robotics experiment. So that's it's very hard to predict, but now the vaccine is out, and so on. It probably by July everything goes back to normal. Yeah, there are still countries that that the vaccination is very slow, but hopefully like all countries catch up, and the problem will be solved, and everything will go back to normal.
Hmm. Do you think there is a point to life in our existence?
Point to life? Not. I don't know. Not really. I mean, everybody is optimizing some cost function and like maximize some individual or like group benefits and so on. So there is no particular like goal or something. There's some cost function that everybody optimize. Everybody has their own cost function. They're optimizing that, and I think that's it.
And what do you find meaning in? What is your cost function?
Well, just being happy. So that's what I'm optimizing for. So I do for my work. I do something that makes me happy. For my for other things in life, I do something that makes me happy. That's the thing that I'm optimizing for. So sometimes I don't know if you have more money, so that your life becomes more comfortable, and you become happier and so on. So that's happiness is basically what I'm trying to optimize.
And what do you find happiness in?
There are many different things. That's career is some part of it. Like for example, when I do research, so I love it, and it makes me happy. So spending time with family and friends makes me happy. Like buying on basically on the other side. So by buying a house or buying a good car, those things also makes me happy. So it's a kind of a spectrum of different things.
And what do you struggle with in life?
I don't usually struggle. I mean, there are a lot of things that I'm trying to improve at, but there's no. But I'm not really struggling. I try my best, but if that doesn't happen, I don't make my life miserable and so on. So that's the. Yeah, there's no particular thing that I'm struggling with. So there are many different things that I'm constantly trying to improve.
Pineapple on pizza, yummy or an abomination?
Yeah, pineapple. Yeah.
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 How do you decide what to work on?
How do I decide? Yeah, as I said, yeah, what I and basically what makes me happy, like what I work on things that I'm excited about, and that's and our CEO always tells us that life is too short to work on something that you're not excited about. So that's so I try to do things that are fun for me. It might not be fun for some other person. So that's but at least if I find it fun or enjoyable, so I work on that.
How do you capture and keep track of ideas?
How do I capture? What do you mean exactly?
Like, do you write them down in a particular notebook? Do you have an ideas document? Are you generally not a notes person, but do you see them visually laid out in some columns or some management software? Like, what do you do to make sure that you keep track of your ideas or thoughts that you've had?
Yeah, everything usually is in my mind, and yeah, I keep thinking about them, and sometimes I write them, but I don't have a specific, like, I don't have a notebook that I write ideas and so on. It's yeah, and unfortunately some idea I forget some ideas because I didn't write them, so that's the issue. But yeah, usually they're in my mind, and I think about them, and if they're good ideas, probably I spend a lot of time during the day thinking about them. So that's
What are traits common to some of the best collaborators or colleagues that you worked with?
Yeah, there are a lot of there are a lot of things that my colleagues are good at. So one, and I've learned a lot from them. So one thing that I learned that I mean is basically answer or respond to aggression with peace and love. So that's one thing. For a specific example is, like, for example, you receive a harsh review from the reviewer that they review your paper. You don't have to be aggressive or as harsh to the reviewer. You can still you can be uh, you can write everything peacefully, and like so. These types of things, and it's not just for paper review. Like many other situations can happen in life. Like, I don't know, you drive on the street, and like you encounter some crazy person, so that you can yeah, you can basically treat them with peace and love and so on, so that everything gets better, and I mean the situation gets resolved, and you feel happy about that. And yeah, that's one thing that I learned from my colleagues, and I value that a lot.
And presumably you're on the lookout for people who have this trait, that in new collaborations that you want to form, you prioritize that, do they exhibit this trait?
Yeah, so that's one of the yeah, that's one trait, but there are a lot of other things, like some for example, some one of my colleagues is very punctual, so that I I, I also value that, and I prefer to work with people who are punctual, and so that yeah, there are a lot of factors involved for choosing collaborators, and yeah, but it's totally I think okay to work. I mean, it's kind of rewarding to work with people who are who are not like that. So that's also you learn different things from them. So it's basically each person has something to teach you. So it's not uh, I don't like uh, I don't choose my collaborators just based on like a few good traits.
Describe something that made you smile today.
Describe something that made me smile today.
There's one of the easy ones from Davi's list.
Smile. Yeah, today was yeah, I don't yeah, I didn't yeah, now I remember I didn't smile the other side. It was yeah, that's yeah, nothing nothing funny happened this morning. I yeah, some normal day, and yeah, I drove to work, and I chat with people, and yeah, ate lunch, and now I'm here.
Sounds good. So then I'll take credit for making you making you laugh on that last one.
Yeah.
What is some of the best advice that you've gotten or given?
Best advice. Yeah, I'm not a person to give advice, but there's one thing that I liked a lot. It's there was this head coach of the Iran national soccer team, and the guy was very good. He was the coach of Real Madrid at some point, and yeah, and yeah, he was saying that either we succeed or we learn, so that there's basically no failure, and that I like that quite a lot.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Why did you agree to do this interview with me?
Why did I do this interview with you? Yeah, it's kind of fun. I saw like other people that did this interview, and say, okay, let me try that, see how it goes. Yeah.
Is there anything that you would like to talk about who you are, what your life is like, that we didn't cover, that you feel is representative?
No, not yeah, not really. Just yeah, nothing particularly interesting. And yeah, that's
Okay. Well, Roosbeh, those were all my questions. Thank you for doing this, and thank you for answering them. I'm sure people will find value in this.
okay. Thanks very much.
Yeah, thanks.